opportunity this is. If you're looking for crimes that Joe Biden has committed, there is a very long list. Our country is being invaded. The world is on the brink of nuclear war. American cities have become slums. Our economy is in shambles. Even our airplanes no longer take off on time. It's a disaster, and Joe Biden and his staff have a hand in all of it. In a country with a functioning government, Joe Biden would have been impeached before the first million illegal aliens crossed over our southern border. But no one did anything to stop it. So now they're arriving at the rate of 250,000 a month. Watch.
Customs and Border Protection sources exclusively tell Fox News more than 250,000 migrants were encountered at the border in the month of December, about as many people living in Scottsdale, Arizona.
And that's only encountered. That's not including people who weren't encountered. Just keep that in mind.
Making it the highest month ever on record. In Eagle Pass, Texas, the migrant surge continues. Local Kinney County rancher Pam Schott had a harrowing experience with migrants on her property.
And I looked out.
I also want to apologize for being a little bit late. I was hanging out with my nephew. I love that boy. I don't get to see him too often, so you gotta pry me out of there. Hey, Maureen. Hey, Mishka. Hey, got a girl. I'm opening with this news story here because, well, it's pretty devastating.
The back, and I could see three illegals walking up to the house. I had gotten a gun, which is an AR-15. I asked them, I said, please, stop, go away, and had the gun in my hands, and they, just kind of looked at me and kind of smiled, and I was like, I'll tow and just go away.
You mean to tell me they weren't afraid of a big, bad, military assault weapon of war? What's up, Leah?
And
Sugar Bridges.
They refused to do so.
They're on the other side of the glass, trying
to get in
and not backing down.
Not backing down. Even though I have a high, powerful rifle in my arms, they are not backing down. That was scary.
A rifle Joe Biden would like to take away from her. So that, writ large, is the biggest story of our lifetimes. It is the one thing Joe Biden has done that cannot be undone. Our great-grandchildren are going to live with the consequences of this. But you never know it from watching most of the news. There's an effective media blackout on Joe Biden's immigration policies and on their downstream effects on America. There are too many strangers pouring in at once, and as a result, the country is becoming chaotic. Here's a rare television news piece on what happened when officials in New York decided to house some of Joe Biden's illegal aliens in a local hotel.
An employee there says that migrants have made an absolute mess of the place. You're standing in front of it. Is that true?
Yeah, well, what we're hearing from that employee is that the hotel is completely overrun. He says, of course, some people just looking for that better life, but as a result, the hotel is a mess, and he fears for his safety.
We don't have any guests anymore. They sold the entire hotel from the 4th floor to the 28th floor. It's all migrants. Mm-hmm. So we got people who are getting drunk, using marijuana. They are punching and beating their wives or their girlfriends.
Holy shit, it sounds like a bunch of chaos. You mean they're trashing the hotel rooms that you're paying $500 a fucking night for 20,000, at least 20,000 migrants, and they're fighting in the streets? When you give something to somebody for free, very few people will ever appreciate it. Maybe those that haven't. But most of the time, when you give something to somebody for free, they don't appreciate it because they didn't work for it. It just got handed it to them, and they take it for granted. That's what these motherfuckers are doing, wasting all this food, throwing out food. And Eric Adams is saying we need to give them culturally sensitive food because they don't want to eat. I thought you guys were asylum seekers. I thought you were fucking dreamers. Back in the day, we were lucky to eat. What we got to eat is what we ate. You didn't get to pick and choose. And these guys, you know why? Because that ain't their fucking buck. And Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, the man with no plan, you know, he's a failed fucking mayor, is saying that the federal government has got to start stepping up to the plate. So the rest of you people around the planet, around the country, rather, you up there in Oregon, gutter girl, you get to help pay for the migrants getting $500 hotel rooms in the city of New York while there are homeless New Yorkers and homeless vets on the streets of New York. Yep, no, we're going to give it to these guys that speak no English, that destroy the place and fight outside in the streets and rob other citizens who don't have to pay taxes. In fact, they take your money out of your pocket and give it to these people and put them up in lavish Manhattan hotel rooms. I wish I could afford a fucking weekend in a nice Manhattan hotel room. I would, but it's a lot of money and it's not in the budget. But these guys, they just get it for free because we got to fucking cater to them. Welcome in, Thanks for coming. Good to see you. I hope you're studying for that test. I'm going to continue with this video.
We have teenagers running around wild around the hotel, opening the fire exit doors and doing what teenagers do in the stairways, and it's a mess.
It's a mess, he said. Of course it is. The whole country is a mess because Joe Biden has ignored immigration laws passed by the Congress. That is a crime, and it has killed huge numbers of Americans, hundreds of thousands dead from narcotics.
Fentanyl has changed the entire game here in San Francisco. You can't buy heroin out here anymore. Nobody sells heroin and nobody uses heroin. Everybody has transitioned over to fentanyl. Fentanyl is the most dangerous drug to ever hit the streets of the United States in history.
Fentanyl has killed more than 70,000 Americans in 12 months. Here in San Francisco, it's the dominant drug. It's responsible for 3/4 of drug overdoses, brazen drug dealing, and rampant drug use. In the shadow of City Hall, the same City Hall residents say actively enable the fentanyl crisis.
All of it, every gram, came over an open border. So what's notable as a political matter is that every one of these disasters, the fentanyl epidemic, the chaos and crime in our cities, the invasion underway through Texas, Arizona, and California, all of those deeply concern Americans. We're not guessing at that. Polls show it very clearly. By contrast, how many voters do you think are lying awake right now worrying that public officials might violate some obscure federal classification law? None. Not a single person. No one outside.
Yeah, that 500 times 26,000 is 13 million. That's just for the hotel rooms, and that's per day. And we're giving them food, clothes, phones, and all this shit. They give them driver's licenses. They give them spending cash. They give them all kinds of services on taxpayer dime, on our dime. And then they come in, oh, we're below budget. You know, New York was once the money capital of the planet. And these guys get in and they're just giving it away. They take our dollars. We pay crazy state income tax, probably one of the highest in the country, if not the highest in the country. And they just give it away to other people. And now they want to put in congestion pricing and this and that. We are tax cattle, and they take it from you. Give me your fucking money. And they give it to someone else who just came here, and then they treat it like shit. They just buying food with your money and throwing it in the trash. It's sickening. It's sickening. And that's why people flee to states like Florida and Texas, where there is no state income tax. They can't do that. At least you only have the federal government stealing your money like that and sending it to goddamn Ukraine and Pakistan for gender studies and women's studies. But here in New York, they do it right in your face. And then they ship these people to your fucking neighborhood, put them up in a better spot than you, and they pay for it on your money, the money they take out of your goddamn check. Bobby, you made money this week. Give us some of it. What are you going to do? I'm going to give it to them. Yeah, but I need that for me. I worked for it. No, Bobby. You don't get it. We're embezzling, and we're strong-arm robbing you. Give me your fucking money, and I'm going to give it to these fucking people who don't belong here and don't pay anything into the pot. And it's right in your face. It's insane, absolutely insane.
Washington cares or even understands the issue. And yet, it is classified documents, not our open borders, that the Justice Department is punishing Joe Biden for. Why is that? What's going on here? Well, it's simple. Washington is protecting itself. Joe Biden alone is responsible for this crime. He alone took home classified documents. He didn't have help in doing that. But allowing the country to be invaded, that's not something you can do by yourself. So if Biden were to be taken down for opening the southern border, a lot of other people would go with him. He had a lot of accomplices. Permanent Washington doesn't want that. And ultimately, and here's the point, permanent Washington is in charge. It's not the democracy you imagine. We're seeing that now. So if you want to understand, if you really want to understand how the American government actually works at the highest levels, and if you want to know why they don't teach history anymore, one thing you should know is that the most popular president in American history was Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon. Yet somehow, without a single vote being cast by a single American voter, Richard Nixon was kicked out of office and replaced by the only unelected president in American history. So we went from the most popular president to a president nobody voted for. Wait a minute, you may ask. Why didn't I know that? Wasn't Richard Nixon a criminal? Wasn't he despised by all decent people? No, he wasn't. In fact, if any president could claim to be the people's choice, it was Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon was reelected in 1972 by the largest margin of the popular vote ever recorded before or since. Nixon got 17 million more votes than his opponent. Less than 2 years later, he was gone. He was forced to resign. And in his place, an obedient servant of the federal agencies called Gerald Ford took over the White House. How did that happen? Well, it's a long story, but here are the highlights, and they tell you a lot. Richard Nixon believed that elements in the federal bureaucracy were working to undermine the American system of government and had been doing that for a long time. He often said that. He was absolutely right. On June 23, 1972, Nixon met with the then CIA director Richard Helms at the White House. During the conversation, which thankfully was tape recorded, Nixon suggested he knew, quote, who shot John, meaning President John F. Kennedy. Nixon further implied that the CIA was directly involved in Kennedy's assassination, which we now know it was. Helms's telling response? Total silence. But for Nixon, it didn't matter because it was already over. 4 days before, on June 19th, the Washington Post had published the first of many stories about a break-in at the Watergate office building. Unbeknownst to Nixon and unreported by the Washington Post, 4 of the 5 burglars worked for the CIA. The first of many dishonest Watergate stories was written by a 29-year-old Metro reporter called Bob Woodward. Who exactly was Bob Woodward? Well, he wasn't a journalist. Bob Woodward had no background whatsoever in the news business. Instead, Bob Woodward came directly from the classified areas of the federal government.
Pay attention here. This is where things get interesting because I don't think many people understand how Nixon really got ousted. I know it's a big detour from how it started with the migrants, but I think this is a very, very important opening for people to see. Tucker does a lot of epic work, but this one was important because I don't think many people actually know this story. I appreciate that, Mishka. Yeah, if you feel like it, if you could be so kind to do so, smack that like button. I appreciate it. Well, I don't know what's going on. This froze.
Shortly before Watergate, Woodward was a naval officer at the Pentagon. He had a top-secret clearance. He worked regularly with the intel agencies. At times, Woodward was even detailed to the Nixon White House, where he interacted with Richard Nixon's top aides. Soon after leaving the Navy, for reasons that have never been clear, Woodward was hired by the most powerful news outlet in Washington and assigned the biggest story in the country. And just to make it crystal clear what was actually happening, Woodward's main source for his Watergate series was the deputy director of the FBI, Mark Felt. And Mark Felt ran, and we're not making this up, the FBI's COINTELPRO program, which was designed to secretly discredit political actors the federal agencies wanted to destroy, people like Richard Nixon. And at the same time, those same agencies were also working to take down Nixon's elected vice president, Spiro Agnew. In the fall of 1973, Agnew was indicted for tax evasion and forced to resign. His replacement was a colorless congressman from Grand Rapids called Gerald Ford. What was Ford's qualification for the job? Well, he had served on the Warren Commission, which absolved the CIA of responsibility for President Kennedy's murder. Nixon was strong-armed into accepting Gerald Ford by Democrats in Congress. Quote, "We gave Nixon no choice but Ford," Speaker of the House Carl Albert later boasted. 8 months later, Gerald Ford of the Warren Commission was the president of the United States. See how that works? So those are facts, not speculation. All of that actually happened. None of it's secret. Most of it actually is on Wikipedia. But no mainstream news organization has ever told that story. It's so obvious, yet it's intentionally ignored. And as a result, permanent Washington remains in charge of our political system. Unelected lifers in the federal agencies make the biggest decisions in American government and crush anyone who tries to rein them in. And in the process, our democracy becomes a joke. Now, you may have noticed that the very first person in the Trump administration the agencies went after was General Michael Flynn. Why Flynn? Because Mike Flynn was a career Army intel officer who ran the Defense Intelligence Agency. In other words, Mike Flynn knew exactly how the system worked, and as a result, he was capable of fighting back. 4 days after Donald Trump's inauguration, the FBI lured Mike Flynn into a meeting without his lawyer, concocted a series of fake crimes, and forced him to resign. So that's how things actually work in Washington. Let's stop lying about it. Joe Biden, meanwhile, whooped like a hyena when the Justice Department destroyed Mike Flynn. So there is, we have to say, a certain perverse justice in watching something very similar happen to Joe Biden himself 6 years later. Joe Biden does not deserve our sympathy. He's being shafted, but don't weep for him. And yet the rest of us do deserve a better system, an actual democracy. When people nobody voted for run everything, you are not living in a free country. Will Cain is the co-host of Fox and Friend Weekend, the host of...
I thought that was an interesting story because I never heard about that. Not put that way, you know. And it makes sense, I guess, when you look back on it. That was the whole I'm not a crook thing, right? Well, happy Sunday, folks. How are you? How's everybody? What's going on in your lives? What's new? Fly Crew, how you doing with them tests? Studying all right? Yeah, like he said, it's all public information. I don't know how he's lasted this long, to be honest. I think it was his denial of 9/11. He's not willing to dig into that one, so, you know. But, yeah, what's going on? They keep finding more documents with Biden and all this. There's something fishy about this whole situation. So, they just found more. Alright, they say, this is the new argument. Oh, but Biden is cooperating. Donald Trump, no, he was obstructing. I kind of like this song. You guys like this jam? This is a fun jam. Get you upbeat. You get your foot tapping. You foot tapping? Well, the difference between Biden and Trump is Biden's giving back stolen bank money. And Trump is allowing the government to seize property that's rightfully in his possession. In other words, what Biden did was illegal. He likes to whisper. But Trump legally had those files. In fact, he was negotiating with him. The FBI was already there to look over everything. You know he's the only president that refused to make a SCIF for? You know they have SCIFs, like the highly secured areas that they keep sensitive documents or any of that shit. A SCIF. Donald Trump, they refused to make one for. So, when the FBI went there, they had already looked over what he had. And then they said, put a lock on the door. Cheers, by the way. Sunday Funday. Got to see my nephew today. That little boy growing up. I'm gonna fucking spoil the shit out of him. Studied today, cleaning kitchen from the meal, prepping. Going to bed early. Yeah, I gotta get to bed too. I gotta finish doing the bathroom. I was supposed to cut my hair, but I'll do that tomorrow. Got the Sunday night blues, knowing I gotta go to work. Yep. Hey, you saying hi? Come here. Come here. Come on, Twinkie. Hop up. I want you to meet the YouTube. Come on. Yeah, go ahead. I don't know if you guys can see her. This is my Twinkie. My girl. What's up, mama? She gets antsy when you don't give her attention for a minute. It was less than 10. No, they found way more in 2 different homes. They found some at the university. What they did was illegal. What he did was illegal. He had no... You can also hear this argument. Oh, well, Obama wrote an executive order that allowed the vice president to declassify it. No, it doesn't do that. It's very long, but it does not do that. Does not do that. VP not allowed to take fucking documents from the White House. And he's got them all over. He's like a fucking classified document hoarder. They're fucking they're finding them everywhere. Something's going on here. I won't take it at face value. Whether or not Biden's done, I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. You gotta just sit back and see what happens. But he better shut the fuck up about Trump and his documents. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear another word about, oh, Trump, what he did was careless. No, old man. He had his under lock and key. And then they say, oh, it's in Mar-a-Lago. People are just walking in and walking out. No, not in that area. No, where we kept those, they were locked up in a closet. And the FBI had already been there. It's in a private section. Oh, it's his home. And he has every right under the Presidential Records Act to have them up to 5 years. Now, people think that Biden should go to prison. Here's the problem no one's talking about with the Biden situation. It's past the statute of limitations for the crime that you would, that he committed. Or so they say. I don't know. They keep finding these fucking things. But, whatever. It's enough with that. We're just gonna watch, see what happens. 2 hours on the treadmill today. Dancing to the Charleston. He is adorable, gotta thank you. Yeah, my little Archie. He's gonna be the only one of his generation. He's gonna be like an Archie Bunker by the time us and life are done with him. I'm gonna spoil him along the way, Drum sets and shit. But, I don't know what the studio's doing. What's playing on your screen right now? I don't know what's going on the screen, what that's showing me. Let's see, that's not what I'm seeing now. Are you still seeing Tucker Carlson talk on the screen? I don't know what it's showing. Tucker Carlson, unless you gotta bring it live. I don't know what's going on here. YouTube's spazzing out. They don't like it. They don't like what we're talking about. That's your fucking problem. I'll talk about what I want to talk about. There we go. Sorry about that. So, we're overrun with illegal aliens. They're coming in by record numbers. The replacement theory is no longer a theory. It's just straight up replace, and now they're saying, we gotta replace you because you're not having kids. Yesterday theory is tomorrow's, I told you so. So, whatever. Now, the big thing, the reason we're all here, and I'm glad you're here, gotta go. Because we're going to talk about the ookie spooky fucking Discord. I'm sorry, Tony ain't here. Tony's in there. Austin got in there. Right, Austin? So, you got to think of Discord. I know it's tough to navigate. That's the biggest issue everybody has with it. Took me a little while to learn it too. But once you learn what Discord is, you'll be alright. So, I want you to look at it like YouTube almost. You see over here to the left, these are what they call servers. Or, I don't know what their term is. I'm pretty sure it's servers. I have my own. I'm part of the Holy Black Brotherhood. They're a men's product company, and they're based out of here. They have the warehouse over here, and everybody has different jobs. You know, like it's like a club. They own the barbershop here. They do fabrication. It's a lot of fun, and the guys here are awesome. So, like, if you were to go there, you would see welcome, information. Now, this is your directory. So, it's like walking into a mall, right? You pick which mall you're going to, and these are all the different stores. Like, there's all... Mine's much easier. Hold on. I just got to show you. So, you go to the warp dimension that you can find, okay? Mine's very simple. You got text channels, which is basically like a chat room. And you could go to Meme Cafe. This is where we all hang out, share memes. Everybody's in. We have fun. This is where freedom of speech lives here. They're not going to ban us. We're sharing fucking memes. It's not. This is fun. You hang out, get to catch up with people. I know Tony Bluntman's in here. Austin's in here. I think, who else is in here? Wasp Bitch. So that's the Meme Cafe. So you would go to the warp dimension, and you'll see it right here. This is the warp dimension, and you have text channels, and then voice channels, and then a virtual pub. So what it is the text channels is the Meme Cafe. It's like a main hangout. We all get in, you know, all back and forth. Twitter files. This one I created. This I'm gonna lay out all of the Twitter file dumps in order with the pictures as they were put out, because Elon Musk doesn't know how to report something. I did a compilation on Fact Check News, so you could go there and see them all. You know, are you paying attention, Gutter? And then you got News and Such, and News and Such. I'm gonna start putting up the news stories that I put on Fact Check News. I'm also gonna share over here. So people that aren't on Facebook, you could come here, and Discord it's a little tougher to navigate, but you got you got a little more freedom to fuck around. And we are in the warp dimension because, you know, we're warped, the universe is warped, we're all fucked in the head, and that's why we get along. I want to say cheers, but I don't know what's so tough about it. Julie, right here, warp dimension. This should be pretty easy for you. I don't want to hear an excuse. And then you see the channels. Meme Cafe. Just jump right in that bitch and start typing, saying what's up. And you could snipe some really good memes to shock your friends with, you know. Virtual psychology test to see if the voice in your head, yes, as well. Fly posted about 3D printed shaped charges. Well, now you just have to go there to find out. But any other, if you guys want to branch out, if you guys want other channels made, well, not channels, like they call them channels, like text channels, let me know, and we can yeah, pay attention, damn it. Somebody's hit me up. At least mine doesn't quack. That's so funny that he's got a quack. But Julie, this is Discord, and you would look up Warp Dimension, and then these are the different rooms. You could picture. I don't even know how to explain it. Picture Warp Dimension as a building, and these are the different rooms you could go into, and they're all dedicated to different things. And then we get into voice in general. Oh, what's that? We got music out of nowhere. It sounds like Mazel Tov. No one else is here to join you. Oh, I'm all alone. Hang on. Let me pause that. I don't know if that's royalty free. So here, this is where I spoke with Tony G. Black Sheep. We hung out in here. You see how my voice is lighting up? These are the rooms. I can invite people to come in. And this is where we could all hang out. Like, it's voice. You could do camera too. I have one virtual pub. Yeah, I'm going to leave that one. This one I'm pretty sure I could do the camera with too. So we could, yeah, turn on camera, we could video chat, and you could get all different kinds of people in. And I could broadcast this. This is my version of StreamYard without the restrictions of StreamYard. So like if we jumped into a video chat on here, as you can see, I have it. So it's different. StreamYard, it's one of those like you can't, it's a little more tougher to navigate. I don't know. This is primitive, but it's fun to do. And this is kind of off StreamYard, so it doesn't take any time. You understand what I'm saying? And this is if we want to do pre-recorded videos and or whatever the fuck we're doing. But it's a lot of fun you could have in Discord. Yeah, I'm going back to general. So I'm in the general voice channel. I'm pretty sure someone could hit me up. If Tony was here, he might be able to hit me up. Come on. Austin, you could hop in. But you go to Discord, you sign in. What you really got to do is you got to find this the server and the warped dimension. I will post the invite people. I am going to hidden use copy button. It's because I'm live on the internet webs. I put it here. So that's the Discord link. You go to the warp dimension and you go through the meme cafe. So essentially it would be like a Facebook. Hey Kia. But it's like a Facebook without constantly getting banned. You know what I mean? And it's all of us. And then through here you could also choose to like voice chat with somebody. You know what I mean? And that's why I like it. And it's easy. And if you game and stuff, like I have pretty sure I have some gaming accounts here. It'll show you where your friends, what games they're playing. It's almost like a Steam account. And I'm getting back into gaming. I saw Austin, you said play FOFA? What's that? Because I'm going to get back into Fallout 76 for sure. I got a lot of ground to fucking go. And I want to finish off, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I still got some shit to do on there. I stopped playing for a while. But that's Discord. Streaming, not enough video. Am I going or not? I don't know. I can't tell what you guys could see. So yeah, that looks like it's live. I don't know. You got to tell me. But back to what we were doing. Do you have any questions, Miss Gotta. Hey, Kia. Fuck around, find out. I was talking about the illegals. Take glass door. Oh, well, they weren't afraid of the rifle. They smiled at her. Because they're used to that shit. Americans think, I'm going to pull out a rifle and everybody going to run away like I'm a mass shooter. These guys, they probably used a few of them just to get up here. Or was told that they're going to get shot by a bigger one. They don't do what they were told. Excuse me, I'm eating peanuts. Honey roasted peanuts. Delicious. Tap that link, gotta go. We're here for you. Chief Smuggle Out. What's going on, Bo? I play Grand Theft Auto on the Xbox. The Xbox. Like what you buy from the Walmart. But yeah. I have that for Xbox. I bought it for the computer. I have it downloaded. I wanted to play the modded versions. And that's fun. They used to do like the role play shit. Where it's like you abide by rules. And you fuck around. Let me unlock the door for you. Call of Duty. Call of Duty's awesome. That's another Xbox one for me. I loved Call of Duty when it first came out, but everybody got to another level. I'm either on or I'm off, and I can usually tell the first round I play. Sometimes I'm just like, nope. And then other times I'm like, what the fuck is this? See? Shit's going on. Something's going on with my computer lately. But that's Discord in a handbag. I could do a whole night on the fucking documents, and I could do a whole night on the illegals. I just want to say happy Sunday. Show gotta go. Discord ain't that scary. And this one's pretty fucking simple. Text channels, voice channels, virtual pub, meme cafe. It's the cafe. It's where we all chill out. You catch your memes there. Save a meme, leave a meme. Just catch up. Normal talk. Twitter files. That's where I'm gonna start. I'm gonna redrop all of the Twitter files because I think that was the story of the year. Nobody spoke about. That's it. Nobody spoke about it. Well, you'll have access to it all. And then news and such. I'm gonna start dropping in some news stories, and that's where you'll find things that, like when Fauci said, take the vaccine and you won't get sick. Rachel Maddow, Joe Biden, and stories and shit. I hope it becomes simple once I set it up. I gotta get a new phone. My phone is dog shit, so I can only do this when I get to the computer, and I can't schedule them on here. And that's another reason I tell people to fact check news, because I can load a bunch of shit and then it gets posted throughout the day. I'm not always here at my computer to be updating everything, but I could do that with my phone. So finished all the Lord of the Rings series. I like them. They get old fast. Same here. On or off. Have to play a few days, get back into it. A few days. I love playing NHL. Anybody here play NHL? I fuck with NHL. Well, who was Tim Pool over there? Well, you gotta come over and find out. He might be smoking a blunt. Man. Know what I mean? Alright, all. Love you guys. Gotta go. Click that fucking link. Get in the Discord. It's very simple here. The only one you need to you click on Meme Cafe. And that's where we're all hanging out. Twitter files and news and such. Don't worry about so much. Let me get some shit onto the Twitter files. Alright? And with that, I want you guys to enjoy a wonderful rest of your Sunday. The work week is upon us. It sucks. But I'm glad to be back. I like the new setup. And we're going to start hanging out some more. God damn. The hiccups. Alright. Love you guys. Gotta go. Discord. Get to the Discord. Not all.
And I wonder what you got, you rascal, you.